A long-term client and friend of mine brought in this beautiful handmade by Kevin J. Ulmy, who's formerly New Zealand and I think is working in the UK now. Jazz guitar. That was a sentence. The guitar did not come with a pickup, and over the years it had another one installed that just was not doing the job. We have custom wound a top-mounted pickup that actually sounds like what the client would like, and here we are fitting it. I'm going to take the scratch plate off because the scratch plate is not original and was not very well done, and we're going to just install the controls inside. Should be fun. Onwards. The instrument itself is really cool. In fact, the guy's done some supremely beautiful classical luthiery as well. So probably do with a bit of a tune, but hey. Why do I not tune guitars before I play them? I don't know. Burn it. Haha, yay! So what happened is this guitar, the client wanted it amplified, did not want to cut a hole into the top, but felt it was okay to install a top-mounted humbucker. Bartolini do various things that are neck-mounted, and there is a company called Crevo who do a very thin magnetic pickup that has had some good reviews, and that is what the client went for. And in the end, the ultra powerful neodymium magnets and a super thin wind created what was a very bright and brash sounding pickup, and not at all what my client wants. So we thought, hey, it could be a fun challenge to make one of our own, and that's what we've done. And that's been glued on, which is a bit of a problem. My client does not like scratch plates and would like to avoid one if at all possible. Poop. If we're lucky, they didn't use super glue to glue that block down. I'm going to carve away the bulk of it, then wet it, and maybe warm it up a little bit. I want to try to avoid damaging the finish if at all possible. So cut it away as thin as possible, wet it to loosen what is hopefully standard wood glue, and we'll see. Control is key. Try and figure out where you need to be in order that the chisel just doesn't run away from you. So yeah, having an extra hand grabbing the guitar and the friction of my thumb here, I feel like I'm in control. Finally. I've been searching for this since I was 12. I can't believe I said that. So what we've got is a piece of grain that lines up with the grain in the top. It is obviously going to be a repair, but it's a little bit better than just sticking a toothpick in there. So that's option number one. That's option number one. The problem is that essentially the piece of wood that we're sticking in the hole, it'll be the end grain that shows up. The elegant solution, and something that will take a lot more time and could be more fun, is to put it in sideways. And come on then, let's make a bigger hole, shall we? Okay, I need a gouge. Probably got one. Too shallow. Too wide. Blunt. Blunt. Look at that gorgeous handle. Focus. Let's sharpen a gouge, shall we? So, yeah, it's a particularly gorgeous little gouge. Go to vintagetoolshop.com and you'll find that I've taken all the good ones. No, there's loads. There's loads there. It just needs sharpening. All right, slipstone. Next grade up. That's looking great. Autosol chrome polish. Far too much chrome polish. And this is essentially a custom shaped block specifically for this gouge that is going to take us to the final ultra sharp polish. And that is dried now. So there was water in that hole, which was not ideal, but unavoidable. Let's see how this goes, shall we? That grain's a bit too far apart on this piece. That's actually okay. That came together a whole hell of a lot faster than I thought it would. I was expecting to have to use chalk and fit, etc. But yeah, the beautiful thing is the material is soft enough that with a little bit of pressure, you see witness marks of where you need to carve away, and you carve it away, and you're done. So yeah, let's get that little bit off, and I'm going to glue it in using white glue, and I'm just going to tape it down, I think, and leave it. I can't get a clamp there. I can get a clamp there because you only need a little bit of pressure. And it's very strong being where it is. Let's see. I am having a blast. Yeah, I want to get a clamp on there. Very, very, very little pressure, but more than masking tape would put on there. All right, time for a coffee and lunch. Goodbye. Got another clamp on the bench here, and a tiny clamp just in case there's an earthquake. Come on. There we go. Okay, that is now not moving. I really do need a coffee. Yeah, of course the repair's taking longer than I thought. It developed into something more than I thought. We'll be there then. I'm on camera now. Bye. It was supposed to be done by now. Yeah, in other words, I thought we were just putting a pickup in and keeping things simple. Of course, that is not the case. Okay, it's been a few hours, and I don't know where to put this clamp. Now, the beautiful thing is, if this doesn't work, I just need to carve it out again and carry on. This might take more than a day to do this build. Project, repair, thing, video, in your life. Should be okay. Deja vu. The client has also told me that he's happy if we can't. We weren't sure at the beginning what it would all look like under here, and if we need to have a small, attractive scratch plate made, I'm free to do that. Let's try a different tool this time. I'll be damned. This is the first time I've ever tried this particular type of patch repair. It's always scared me, but actually it seems to be working okay. Story time. I was listening to a podcast a number of weeks ago, and it's a luthier's podcast. I can't remember exactly what it was called, but it's about violin making in particular. And this lady was being interviewed, and her thing that she is known for doing is taking a violin or a cello that had been modified poorly and putting it back correct. And her subspeciality is when an F hole or a pair of F holes are in the wrong place. And she can take a Stradivari or a Guarneri or something like that, and she can move the F holes in the top to where they're supposed to be without you knowing that she was even there. Yeah. Anyway, onwards. Let's go. The grain isn't absolutely perfectly lined up, which is sad, but it's not far off. And obviously you can see at the end of the fretboard here how the top was stained, probably using an oil-based rubbing thing. So I'm going to need to try and match this color, if at all possible. Let's start with a little bit of yellow. And I'm staying water-based rather than spirit-based due to... Well, I don't want to damage the rest of the finish if I can avoid it. Well, it's pretty damn close, actually. I think it needs a fraction of amber. Amber's much, much darker. Just a little bit of amber on the top. We've actually got it. So what I'm going to do is... what I'm going to do is stop moving the camera and trying to do these stupid shots because it's got to be annoying the editor. I'm actually going to try and mix some yellow and some amber together to create a custom color that gets the color I want straight away. And yeah, as long as you're not mixing water-based water-based versus spirit-based, those don't mix together, but everything else within the families, you're okay. Go. That should do. Super precise, me. Honest. Not half bad, eh? So the grain appears to have just disappeared. It's the second you put stain on, it's gone and said, actually, I didn't have a grain, and it's not looking ideal. So, well, the time has come to do some touching up. The aforementioned stain. Oh. No. No. The substrate is wet. Therefore, not working. Oh, actually, that's not too bad. I don't have the correct tool here. Okay. It's not absolutely invisible. But I think I'm happy with that as a substrate. I'm going to let that, I'm going to let this dry overnight. So yeah, the feeling is essentially that this instrument, he does want a volume and a tone, and he doesn't want them in a line. He wants them just off the F hole here, and that will actually work quite nicely for me. Yeah, that works. It flows with the movement of your hand. It flows with the direction of the F-hole as well. There is not a brace underneath where I want to do this. This is a tiny finish repair, and essentially I'm going to be doing very basic shellac, or at least French polishing. This is not something in which I'm an expert, but it's also a very simple process. I'm going to make a rubber. I'm just using some of the fine tissue, the strong tissue paper that we use at Crimson, some shellac, some mineral oil, and time. It's going to be done over probably 5 or 6 coats just in that little area. I can't go for a perfect finish because the rest of the guitar is a little bit beat up. So we're going to go better than we want to, and then try and age it a little bit. One might even use the word relic. We'll see. So essentially, I'm doing a very tiny area. So a small section of tissue, which will be soaked in shellac, which will then be wrapped in another, actually that's probably even too big given where this refinishing thing is. Wrapped like that, and that gives me a little tool that will just apply the finish. Now I should be doing this with a nice section of lint-free cotton or something like that, but I don't have that. A little bit of mineral oil, sorry. You could use linseed oil, and essentially you end up going like so, and you apply a finish onto the guitar. From here it doesn't match whatsoever. From here, it's not quite right, but it's not as bad. Sorry, I've got a light behind me. And there it's too dark. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go back to playing with stains, I think. We'll just rub it down a little bit more. We can do better. Old merch to be cut up. And I'm going to use this to make a rubber with fabric, because this is curing too fast, and also the tissue is actually disintegrating. This is a learning process. I have not done this process successfully ever. So we're after a small one, and this time I'm just going to decant the shellac into there. I want to put a little bit of mess on there as well, just to dilute that and make it go faster. That there is a tiny little rubber. Okay, I want to adjust the color a little bit, so I'm going to take some stunning stains and mix it with the shellac. Spirit-based stunning stains, of course. All right, so that's over the whole lot, and now I'm going to concentrate over the patch, because I'd sanded through around it a little bit. While that is drying, I am going to drill a few holes and start installing this pickup and wiring. Wasn't this what I was supposed to be doing like a week ago? Time to do some wiring. In between coats, I'm going to hang her up. Yuck. Yuck. We could do better than that. You see that? That is a bit of wire going through the lug and almost grounding out, and thus, rendering the entire system unusable. The client wants to reuse these pots, so we're going to strip them down, clean them, and see where we end up. I might have to buy some new ones. I also need to clamp this down, actually. Can't believe how loose these are. And here's the custom pickup we made for this. The wires go straight down, so I need to figure out where that's going. The shellac is cured. It's a little bit blotchy, so I'm hoping to rub it down past that point around the edges, and then it's just going to be a clear coat after that fact. And here we are. So yeah, the stained section has expanded around the edge, so I need to get rid of that. $1200 grit, and it always works better when it's wet, properly wet. That's 1200 grit. I need to feather it into the rest of the finish. 2000 grit. And then we're just going to use some super ultra mega versatile polish. Actually, it's just ultra mega versatile. Missed a trick. So it's actually a little bit shinier than the surrounding guitar. So it's back to the 1200 grit, just to push it back a little bit. And then from there, we'll polish again. Okay, going in dry. And what I'm hoping is going to be the very last application, gentle polishing. I think we're there. That looks much better. Okay. I'm happy with that. It's obviously there was a repair there. Well, when you look close, from a distance, it's just part of the guitar. Now, let's get this system in place. It's a bit pretty, isn't it? Line the strings up. That's where we want to be. There we go, that'll do. Now, what I'm going to do is I want to glue, I want to spot glue the pickup to the end of the fretboard. We've already drilled a hole in the top. We've gone, this is the point of no return. With a little bit of spot glue, it won't take much to knock the pickup off if required. It is not going to be hugely difficult to fix, to repair, to sand back. It's the end of the fretboard. People, often forget that even exists, and it should be strong enough. So there we go. I am also going to put just a couple of pieces of masking tape on the bottom of the pickup to deaden any rattle. Because you wouldn't want that on a guitar now, would you? The end is nigh. Okay. Wiring loom. There. So this is not a guitar built for what I normally play, and this is definitely not proper microphones and all of that jazz. I'm just going through a standard standard electric guitar amp with no boost or anything like that. It's just but I mean, this has been a pretty cool project. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. Please click like, subscribe, share this with your friends. Don't forget about the live stream on the Crimson Guitars Extras channel. Please go and subscribe to that channel, where there's a whole bunch of other stuff going on, and I'll see you there. Sundays, 8 p.m. UK time. That's a big difference.